Serious? What led to the most intense orgasm of your life? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will go to bed now. This guy just fingered me right while stimulating my clit with his thumb. It was the strangest build up. I couldn't breathe, I felt like I was having a heart attack, and starting from my fingers and moving up my arm I was going numb. Then I came. I think I screamed. It made me cry and laugh hysterically. I had a krill orgasm. Thumb on clits are wonderful. Former girlfriend used to break into laughter after she came. I would laugh with her at the spectacle of the whole thing. When I was younger I used to sleep with this girl regularly in the back of the car. One time she was on top and I felt everything from my thighs all the way up to my chest start to contract and release with my heartbeat, getting faster and faster until one point I was basically shaking. Weird part was, no fapping. It lasted maybe 30-45 seconds and was the most intense pleasurable moment I've ever felt in my life. Not sure what it was or how to have it happen again, but yeah, amazing. Was your prostate getting stimulated? I don't think there's only one that sticks out. The most intense ones left my entire body limp and buzzing like I had inhaled laughing gas at the dentist. It would feel like water was trickling through my feet and my teeth were buzzing. I can never speak after one of those. My uterus will almost get menstrual cramps afterwards. During it is like it will go on and on forever and all colors get brighter. My boyfriend doesn't understand why I don't always want an orgasm during intimacy. Sometimes it's nicer and just as pleasurable to just have intimacy and feel the endorphins afterwards. Those are like a well-proportioned meal. It fills you up and keeps you full and content afterwards and you will feel hungry again the day after. Orgasms are like eating the every single dish at every single 5-star restaurant at once. You kinda need to recover for a bit after that. Few months of not doing anything XL. That one moment was so satisfying. Mayo in 9th grade I overheard my crush saying fapping was super gross. So I didn't touch myself for like 8 months. Then after we broke up I went straight for it. It was heavenly and I never let another person influence my right to rub one out again. Damn bro, that's some impressive willpower. Back when my boyfriend and I still lived at home, I was spending the night at his house. We were in his room and things were heating up. He had me at the edge of his bed while he sat on a trunk at the end of his bed just slowly fingering me and eating me out for what felt like hours. Everything was slowly building up and I felt like I was in ecstasy. Finally, he looked up at me and said, "I'm gonna make you come now," and fully started eating me out while fingering me. That mixed with having to stay quiet because his family was in the other room was the most intense pleasure I've felt. I was still orgasming when he fricked me after mayo. Got tied up, blindfolded, edged, and then she carried on riding after I came for like 5 minutes. I'm pretty certain I was dead for part of the post-orgasm ride, but frick me did it feel incredible. I had a one-night stand with this woman while she was on top. I told her that I was going to come and she then proceeded to say I'm not finished. She then began riding me even harder. Even after orgasming I was rock solid. She rode me for a good 5 more minutes until she came and collapsed on me. I literally had tingling in my lips and toes like I was gonna pass out because it felt like a continual orgasm that never stopped. I literally had tingling in my lips. Finally something I can relate to. I think I haven't had this feeling since having sex with my first girlfriend. I'm not convinced it was because she was very good or something. I believe that was because it was my first time having sex, so my body wasn't used to the intense feeling of an orgasm. Ex-girlfriend blew me and after I came she kept gently sucking. I had what I can only describe as multiple orgasms. I don't think I actually fapped anything, but the sensation was the same, but more powerful each time. I had to stop her because I was about to pass out. She had done that in the past and she did it after, but that one time was the only time that happened. It was the most pleasure I have ever felt. Interestingly, I saw an article on this yesterday. Men can have 2 different types of orgasms, a wet and a dry one. The dry one is really intense and almost replicates a female's orgasm. Most men don't even realize they can orgasm without ejaculating. I've been doing this for years. After I finish I'll keep going and be able to orgasm multiple times with less or even no fapping. I thought it wasn't normal, so I'm glad that's not the case. Teach us the ways. Right before college I hadn't come in around 10 days due to a summer trip with friends sharing the same sleeping area. I got back to my place and instantly fell asleep, dead tired. When I woke up in the morning my hands, feet were warm and tingly. I sort of stretched out in bed like a cat and got a sudden, very extreme pang of pleasure from deep inside me. Instinctively I knew I was going to come. It was like that moment after passing the point of no return, but it just went on forever. It felt like minutes. Eventually my whole body was pulsing in rhythm with my heart and alternating between hot and cold. It felt much more like what a female orgasm is described as, with a slow build up and afterglow. It was different than any orgasm I've had before or since, even different than a prostate orgasm. It was like when stretching ice somehow accidentally activated the orgasm nerve. You probably had a orgasm. It's an actual thing. I jerked it off while the tip was in her mouth and her tongue was dancing circles. She was also touching herself and moaning. I miss human contact. That last sentence is too real. At this point I feel like my next super intense orgasm will be from the wind brushing my leg while I'm in close proximity to a woman. In my mid-teens and probably the height of my adolescent horniness, I went to camp for a week. Didn't jack for a week. When I got home and was able to be alone finally, it was a blur. Probably my first PPL orgasm, as opposed to clitoral. Shoot was intense. Cried after. And cried after every PPL orgasm since. Nothing weird, just hormone rush. I am still yet to have one sad face. Must be nice. I only have a PPL orgasm when I ride my husband. It also helps if you have come a couple of times before that. Makes it more sensitive and more susceptible to a PPL orgasm. Best advice would be to play around with different positions. Have fun. I've always had issue climaxing PPLLY until about a year ago. My boyfriend, whom I've just met then, went down on me. I came once, then twice when he was inside of me. I'm having the best ex of my life right now. I'm 39. Because of this little discovery. About a month ago, my fiance and I got into a huge fight and broke up. Ovid stress and lockdown stress got to us and we both lost our cool. Then had really angry breakup ex and it was the most passionate ex we'd ever had. We decided to work things out and stay together. And the makeup ex was 100 times better than the breakup ex. I've honestly never had breakup ex. What's it like? Do you just look at each other angrily while fricking vigorously, or? It's very raw and aggressive since you assume it's the last time it's going to happen. I don't get how the idea even gets raised. You've just broken up. In this case it was apparently after a blow up and a nasty fight. I don't get the mindset that goes from there to one last boink. Blowjob while she had this little prostate vibrator in my butt. It was like I had a stroke. I could hardly move the right side of my body and my vision went derpy. Was only able to lay there for a while. I imagine that's what heroin feels like. Your body took a screenshot, lol. Freaking hell, that was a surprise laugh. Cheers mate. Heroin just makes everything feel like the best feeling ever, to the point even laying under a blanket is like mind-numbingly amazing. Forgot to mention that it also basically ruins your life the first time you take it, so don't. Wish I never touched opiates. Hey. People that haven't had them just don't understand. It makes everything amazing. I can do the most boring shoot on them and it's the best thing ever. Sadly once you have that feeling life just isn't the same without them ever again. Do not touch opiates people. My girlfriend at the time lived with her mother. First she said she didn't want to have sex because her mum was downstairs, probably asleep. Then she changed her mind, but said just don't make too much noise. So I fricked her. I'm not usually a moaner, so this time I was downright creepily silent, but hearing her gasping quietly and trying to stay quiet, which, in retrospect, was hilariously unnecessary, was so freaking hot. I was in a super toxic relationship with a chick. It was out of control. I was always wrong. She never apologized ever and we both had drinking problems. One night she came home drunk while I was at home with strep throat. She woke me up and started yelling at me the whole horrible toxic emotionally painful cycle of bullshit. The next morning I woke up and told her I was done with her. She started crying. Then we had sex. While we were having sex she said, "I want you to know I'm really sorry about last night." Then she started screaming I'm sorry over and over while she orgasmed. And then while she was screaming I'm sorry I had the most unreal orgasm. I came so hard and thought I wasn't going to stop. I shot my load over her entire body and onto the wall. I was so proud and happy. We definitely didn't break up after that. We definitely still had a toxic relationship. It ended explosively 6 months later. Did that with strep throat. Props. Had a lot of sexual tension with this girl for a while. Finally we hooked up and had great sex. I finished once and we kept on going. Just got better and better. Until boom, finished again. Anyway I blacked out and came to about 20 seconds later, pissing blood out of both nostrils. She was panicking thinking she'd literally shagged me to death. After I told her I was okay and we'd got some tissues she said it was actually kinda hot. Said she'd never physically fricked a guy's brains out before. Bad for the mood, good for the ego. Way more fun than fricking the shoot out of someone. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will go to bed now.